chaos devices from Poland, and we have two new exciting modules to show to you. Tomek?
Yeah. So these two new modules is Odessa, which is additive oscillator, and it is, I think, quite new thing because there is not a lot of additive synthesis in Eurorack, especially with more than 500 partials here. Maybe I will switch it on so you can hear this. Here you can add up to 512 harmonics different, and there is a few macro parameters to mess with the sound. So the tilt is a bit behaving like a low pass filter. And these three knobs are kind of comp filter. So here you can change the distribution of the comp tooths, and here the density and also the picking, which change the width of the tooth. This is really great for the animation of the sound, and you have control voltage over each of the parameters. We have also two independent outputs for the even and odd harmonics, so you can do some interesting things with the stereo, but also just use them as regular two different outputs from your oscillator. So to change the distributions of the harmonics to these two outputs, you have these banks, two knobs for changing the dividing for the groups of harmonics to each outputs, and changing the length of the group and the frequency divisions of each harmonic. Here you have just regular oscillator tuning, and also the parameter that we call tension. It brings more disharmonic, like.
Is that kind of like detune between?
No, this is really just spreading the harmonics, not in the grid of inharmonicity is changing here, so you can have like really metallic sounds, or more like a bit soul wave sound. Also, these have up to five voices. You can choose 1, 3, or 5 voices and detune them with this knob, so you have nice unisono going on here. And also there is a True Zero liner FM. It's go very deep. Maybe I will show you.
So we've got another patch running, right?
Yes, here is a patch with lots of modulation. And this whole sound is just one from this one oscillator. There is no other sound source.
And there's no effects on that.
No
either.
effects, so it's a really dry signal from the oscillator with no filters, no VCAs, just oscillator straight to the mixer.
So how is it running? Is it on DSP chips or?
It is on FPGA chip, so it is really producing more than 2,000 of these sine waves in one moment.
So there's no kind of like wave folding or anything to kind of get those harmonics. It is actually producing all those sine waves.
All the harmonics are the sine waves, so you build all your sound with this sine waves that just are the like really big bunch of them, really some clouds of them, because you can obtain almost like white noise with lots of harmonics. here you see just how strong the power of each group of harmonic is. So this is like a small spectrogram for you to just to see what is happening with your sound. Yes, especially that it can go really low, so you can see that you have like a fundamental harmonic very under the audible range.
So is the kind of the intensity of the light dictating how strong that fundamental is, or how strong that sine wave is?
The there is volume compensation inside. So if you have lots of strong higher harmonics, the main the fundamental can be lower in the level, but also you have independent output for the fundamental.
Okay, so you could take the fundamental.
You can take the
yes,
yes, exactly. Also, you can sync your other VCOs to Odessa thanks this output, because you can use this one for the sync.
Oh, excellent. So that's the Odessa kind of overview. Should we have a look at? You've got an envelope, right?
Yes, another new module. Maybe here is. Another new module is like a quadruple envelope generator, and we started designing this module thinking about the envelope, which will be good to combine with our Batumi LFO, and we started with just a simple envelope, but in the design it changed for a really unique and universal control voltage generator. You have 4 channels which you can choose with this switch. On each channel you can choose one from 200 starting point for your envelope.
Okay, so it's not even really. I mean, these shapes aren't really envelopes anymore.
They're much they are much more complex. They are derived from sometimes acoustic envelope acoustic amplitude envelopes. Sometimes they are like just simple synth based envelopes, like here and here. And sometimes they are just a bunch of repeating waves to later to deform them. Sometimes it's just like noise, random stuff. There's really lots of them. Even some like sequences of stepped voltage.
And can you make your own?
No, you cannot make your own,
you can shape
but you can shape them in like 2 directions. Here you can see that I can really heavily deform this with the warp parameter. You can change the direction of each envelope. Maybe with this one I can show you also the response, which is like changing, deforming the wave in another dimension. So you really can do something much different from the starting point. You can set the length of the envelope from.
So is that a dedicated control? Because this one, it seemed like you were changing what it was doing, or it was always the warp, or?
It's warp, and if you press this, it's response. So it's always for deformation, and each encoder is for one of the parameters. So there is no really some deep menu diving and things like this. You just choose the envelope to edit, and you have all the knobs and switches on your panel for doing this. There is a bit of a menu here. I will later show this one to you. You have attenuator to set the level of the output, and you see how much volt it spit out.
Can it go bipolar, or is it?
No, it's unipolar, okay. And it is from less than 1 millisecond to up to half an hour long.
Oh,
so
okay.
Also many shapes just need to be much longer to have more sense, because they are complicated.
Yeah.
So And you have like trigger gate input for each of the channels, and assignable control voltage input. And in the menu, you have the page to choose which parameter you want to control. With switching, you can choose each of the knob to control by voltage, and you have a attenuator to set
for the incoming voltage.
yes, yes, for the incoming voltage. So with each of the knobs, you can set one of the channels of
And can you
control voltage.
So it's you can only assign one the voltage to go to one destination, or it can go to multiple destinations.
Now it is only designed to control one parameter, so one voltage is for each of the envelopes. But there will be also expander, which will give you additional for inputs for the control voltage, and probably we will change this in the way that you can use each of the inputs to control any of your envelopes. So you can control different, with one input you can control different parameters in different envelopes.
Oh wow, excellent.
Another page in the menu, and it's really last page for your edition, it's this chain page where you can set different algorithms of chaining for envelopes.
Okay,
so they can be like two chains of
one trigger into trigger A would trigger A.
yes. And you can also loophole the chain. Next parameter is the shift in phase of each of the envelopes. So there is no only the possibility that next envelope will be triggered when the first one will end, but also like in the middle of the first envelope the next one will be triggered. Another parameter is loop. It's loop and repeat really, because you can set how much you want to the envelope will
how
be.
many times
It will loop how many times. You can use these two parameters also without this chain. So this shift will become just a delay, a trigger delay, and this loop will retrigger your envelope up to 99 times, or really endlessly, because on the last position is endless loop. So you can use Zadar as a LFO. And also very complex LFO when you chain all four envelopes and loop them in different times in different places.
So can you change the shape with a CV? Or
yes, you can change the shape. Each of the knob can be voltage controlled. So reversing, changing shape, changing length and amplitude, and warp and response can be voltage controlled. So you can do each of these. Also,
but you can't change like the preset almost with the voltage.
In the menu you have a preset, so you can store the presets, but you can change them with the voltage. Maybe we'll do some sort of update. It will be easy updatable by audio signal just.
Okay.
And last of the features is this. There are just small light signs that show you how work the resetting of your envelope, and it can reset analog-like. So it will start from the point another envelope, retriggered envelope, will start from the point where it was retriggered, or digital one, which will just like reset all envelope to 0 and start from the 0. So it gives you really two different flavors of resetting.
Okay, excellent. So I suppose the next question is, how long until we can get them, and what sort of price are they going to be?
Probably they will be ready in the half of the holidays. I hope so. We try to don't about Premiere. At last, we don't have a ready last prototype, but I hope it will be ready in holidays. And the price for Odessa will be like 420 euros and 290 euros for Zadar.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.